a big thing that's going to be big, and this is huge, is AI influencers. Now, here's why, is because if you can create an AI influencer almost camp, almost kind of like, you know how there's creators now, and then you have you have social media agencies or management companies that manage those creators.
Right.
You could essentially be the management of these creators and influencers that aren't real.
Yeah.
Right. So that they don't have to take a cut, and you're running and automating all their content and everything. And I mean, now these ad spend are spending tons of money on ads and just throwing money at these influencers that nobody knows that they're not real, right? They're supposed to look as real as you can get.
But just spectacularly gorgeous.
Just amazing. Like, girls and guys, and they're perfect, and, all this all around the board. I mean, imagine the ad spend that you can get from, let's just say, creating 10,
Welcome to the Excellence Project. My name is Eric Worre, and today we have a social media kind of wizard. His name is Zac Gulbranson, and we're going to talk about all kinds of techie stuff. We're going to talk about the health of your social media platforms. We're going to talk about how to get more followers. We're going to talk about or the process of, or the ability to recover accounts that get hacked or locked down, talk about AI, all kinds of stuff. So I think if you're into that type of thing, this is the podcast for you. So with no further ado, let's jump right into my conversation with Zac Gulbranson. So Zac Gulbranson.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And I've been hearing stories about you and how when certain people in the marketing world have problems or have opportunities, issues online or with social, your name just keeps coming up over and over and over again. Oh, just, call Zac. Zac will take care of it. So you have this Dream Life agency. Tell me about, how did that come to be?
Yeah. So, by the way, I love your shirt, man. It's
thanks.
Nice and bright. It's pretty crazy story of how, things kind of got started. I look at it now, kind of like looking back at it, and I never thought that it would turn into kind of what it is. And now the vision for it is just, I mean, we're thinking 100x, and we're moving at that speed too. So, which we can get into in a little bit, but, so basically I'd say about 7-8 years ago, I started, understanding that Instagram was the place to be, and understanding that some people got treated differently than others. And it all kind of depended on one thing. And that was how many numbers you had on your followers. Right. So like, I was like, growing up, I always was kind of like the go-to. I always would stick to something that was something that people needed, right? So like I would become, I guess, essentially, valuable in different areas. So, and, in my past, it was more illegal things, but as we grew up and turned it legal, then I realized, I was like, hey, I need to become somebody online. And the followers is definitely how I'm going to, go about doing that. So I started growing my page initially, right? So I started growing my followers, doing different like celebrity shout outs and campaigns and different things like that. And
you learned all the hacks.
What's that?
You learned all the hacks. On how to grow a following.
Yeah. So I really started getting involved into like, just growing your page. And like when I see value in something, I don't just like look at the surface level. I'm very like, I want to know everything about it, like, so I would watch YouTube videos. I would like and this is kind of symmetrical through my life, and is every time I want to learn something, like now, like I'm really, really getting involved in AI, which we can talk about that here in a little bit too. But I latch onto things, and then I feel like I suck them for all that I can, right? I squeeze all the juice out of it. So I would watch endless YouTube videos on like how to grow your account, you know, and like what people want to see on Instagram, what works, what doesn't. Learned all these trips and ticks and tricks, tips, and hacks and everything. And then, you know, obviously also realized that there was a really easy way to do it, which was pay for it, right? So I ended up growing my account, obviously many different ways, but in the beginning, I realized that it was essential that you needed to pay for followers if you wanted to get to a spot that people were actually going to follow you, right? Because the way that I look at it, and I tell clients this all the time, is like, unless you are somebody in a sense, or it looks like you're on the come up, it's going to be very hard for someone to follow you, even if you have the greatest content, just simply because, like, if you look at a page and they have, you know, 300 followers, people don't like to be 301, depending on your like, even if your content is amazing, but they'd rather be, you know, 3,001 or 30,001, right? They want to catch on to what other people are doing and follow what other people are doing. That's why they're called followers, right? So, the vanity aspect really kind of opened up my mind about, like, I feel like with how it's getting a lot more normalized now, than how it used to be. It used to be really, really looked down upon, until people started realizing that the highest names on Instagram, the biggest influencers that you can think of, you know, Bieber, the Kardashians, you know, The Rock, like the monster influencers that are all on the top 10, they're paying for hundreds of thousands of followers a week. Like, it's a normal thing, you know, because when people follow someone like that, what happens is people follow them because they see their name, right? And then when people go to clear their accounts, who's the first person they're going to clear? Probably someone that is like that, because they might not get much value, and they only did it and it was a quick decision type thing, right? So what they found, these higher celebrities, is their drop-off rates were insane. So their brand camp, right? Their camp that handles their brand and their social media managers and all that, they're like, we need to combat this, this drop-off rate. So they started buying tons of followers, right? And actually the Kardashians were the first kind of group of people to start buying followers in that era. So kind of the reason why I'm explaining that is because buying followers back then was looked at a lot different than it is now. Now people look at it as a necessity to get to a level to where you can stop buying followers and then go organically, and you'll have doors open that might not have opened before if you had 200 followers and you're just trying to put out the best content in the world, right?
Well, let me ask this, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, and that was kind of long-winded.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah. It's good. So how many followers do you have now on Instagram?
So yeah, and this is another funny story, but I had about 400 until my account went down. So 400,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Got to get a drink of water for this one. So basically part of my,
and that was when?
7 months ago. So my account went down 7 months ago. I can kind of get into that a little bit too, but, my business, part of my business is helping people. Now I always like to, you know, be careful of the words here, right? I help people get their pages back. I don't get their pages back. There's two different things there. But helping people get their pages back, I was doing it at a rate that obviously caught attention of both sides, right? Instagram, and they were like, this guy doesn't work for us. and caught the attention of the targeters, which are the malicious hackers and scammers that were targeting all these accounts. So my page ended up getting a cybersecurity ban, which is basically the hardest ban there is out there. And it essentially, like, if you read what a cybersecurity ban is, it's just basically accessing information that's not yours on Instagram, helping people with their accounts or accessing others' account details, things like that. Right. So that's on the kind of TOS, we call it, terms of service side. But when you look at the other side, the scammers, the hackers, the malicious guys that are typically a lot of times overseas, they're targeting, thousands of accounts a day, maybe hundreds of thousands of accounts a day, for one reason, right? They're trying to extort people and get money. So a lot of these people in one way, shape, or form were routing back to me, and I would help them get their page back. They would shout me out on their story. Hey, shout out to Zach. Thanks for getting my page back. So
you were public enemy number one.
So obviously
for the scammers.
Now I have, basically Instagram building I wouldn't say building a case, but their eyes were, on me. And then I have, public enemy number one with the hackers and scammers. They were like, okay, we've watched this guy, do this for 2 years. Like, we got to get rid of this guy. Like, he's ruined our business. So yeah. So and it's a funny story because, people will send me, even still to this day, they'll send me accounts. I help them out. And then they say, let me add you on Instagram. And I have to go through kind of a shorter winded version.
Yeah. Please don't.
Yes. It's almost like, and this was my, bread and butter of my services, right? My services are expanded tons now, right? After, years and years, I've been doing this for about 7-8 years now. So I have services all over the board, but my bread and butter was helping people recover their accounts. Mm-hmm. So my account going down is kind of like a brain surgeon getting brain cancer.
Yeah,
It's kind of a good
not a good thing.
A good way to look at it, right? So, but I'm going to come back with a blast. I'm actually hiring a guy that took Alex Hermosi from 400K to 2 million. And I think it was about 8 months or a year. So I'll be coming back out on Instagram with that. I currently have Instagram right now. I'm not very active on it. I own the social media handle @socialmedia. I have a couple of ideas on it. I want to do something towards influencers, like some sort of competition, because there's nothing out there like that, but influencers are all super competitive.
Sure.
As I was, and I wasn't even heavy in, like, I was an influencer because of what I did on Instagram, but I wasn't an influencer because of, lifting weights or fitness, or, a lot of influencers have kind of a niche. Mm-hmm. My niche was just social media, recovery. Recovery. And doing other, social media.
You were like the Liam Neeson.
Exactly. Right.
Of Instagram.
Yeah.
I will find you.
Exactly.
I will get you.
Yep. And basically, there wasn't, the way that I looked at it is like, someone would bring me a service, and if I didn't handle that service, tomorrow I will, like I that's one of my biggest skill sets. I can source talent out and, and find someone that's able to do that. And then now my toolbox just keeps growing. Right. So, but a lot of that is getting in touch with the right people. Right. So like, let's say if I, help someone get their account back that has, a big name, let's say, you came to me and, hey, I need help. And it might not even be recovery. Like
my account got hacked.
Yeah.
A year ago, maybe 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right.
And they immediately just switched everything and were offering it for sale.
Wow.
Trying to sell it to somebody else.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who wants to buy this?
Yeah. 100%.
And then they were, telling me how much I'd have to pay.
Yep.
So
did you pay it?
No.
Okay.
I ended up paying somebody else to recover it.
Gotcha. And I'll tell you one thing, just
to help me recover it.
Okay. Yeah. Just cause like the number one thing that I want everybody to know is if you're ever in a position where a hacker, scammer, we'll just call it a malicious guy, actor is ever saying, hey, I'll give you your account back for X amount. I don't care if it's $10, never, ever, ever pay them, because they will stick on you like a leech and they will find every reason that they can to get money out of you, because now they're like, oh, this dumb American. Now I can, I can do his Facebook, more. His parents' Facebook. I'll go into his sister's Snapchat. They will find every single, because now they know you're going to pay, right? So the last thing you want to ever do is pay. And you know, some people get that and some people don't, but like, so what I was saying is like, if you came to me, even if it wasn't for recovery, or anyone in the space that is a high name influencer, let's say they have 500,000, 1 million, 2 million followers. My biggest thing was creating a relationship with them. Cause in what other world would, you know, someone like me get a chance to meet so many different people on so many different playing fields. Right. Mm-hmm. So like now my network is so big because I not only developed the relationship with that person, but they might have, you know, posted me on their story, referred me out. Now they're 2 million followers, seeing who I was. So I was really growing. Like I said, I want to make this clear too, because in the beginning I did pay for about 60, 70,000 followers, but then from there I took off, right? Organically. So that account was really important to me because that was, you know, mostly.
Yeah, you get it back.
Yeah, 7/8 of it was completely all.
When you're
organic.
ready, all you have to do is ask your network to shout you out, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that could work, but I have some other plans with it too.
Yeah. Well, just tell me this.
Yep.
What does your agency do?
Yeah.
So, and then we'll get to each part.
Yep.
I mean, but what are all the services the Dream Life Agency provides?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, I know that I kind of went a long way and I didn't actually tell you how it, so when I was growing accounts, I'll just do a 30-second here just so I wrap up that question. When I was growing accounts, my account got suspended after I started doing that. And then I was like, what do? I just started spending all this money on my account, growing my followers. So I reached out to the guy that was growing my followers, right? Or helping me. And he's like, yeah, I can take care of it. It's going to be $1,000. And I was like, $1,000? Like, you know, this was 7-8 years ago. And I was like, wow. And then I was like, okay, whatever, paid him $1,000 and it was back. And then, on my story, I was like, hey, if anyone needs any, you know, accounts recovered. So then people started asking me. So now that's kind of what gave me the aura of like, you know, the followers, you know, just the Instagram guy.
Because you learned how to do it.
Yeah. Well, so I started going to him to get it. I was middlemaning it.
Teach me.
Yes, exactly. And then I went around him. Mm-hmm. And basically I just used the same principles that I did back in the day, you know, with my illegal activities with this, right? Because like you're always trying to get a better connect. You're always trying to, you know, work your way up or, you know, work with someone internally so you can get, you know, the lowest cost so you can give your clients the best price. Right. So that's kind of how I started getting into the recovery.
So you learned and then went into competition.
Exactly. Yep. Competition. Yep. And then, but that's kind of how that started. And now Dream Life Agency has really expanded into so many services. Yeah. Now the bread and butter, like I said.
Yeah, walk me through like top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
What's your number one service? Number two, number three, number four? What do you do?
So number one for sure is recoveries. Any platform. Any platform. Doesn't have to be Instagram, Facebook.
Is Instagram. This even like suspensions?
Everything. Yeah. So anything.
Hacker on either side.
Everything. Yeah.
Whether it's on the platform side or the malignant,
business
malicious actors out there that are trying to extort you.
Yeah, right. Or
both sides.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's either somebody hacked you.
Yep. Hacked. Yep.
Or the platform itself
disabled you
or suspended you or restricted you or something.
Yep. So those two things on all platforms.
Yeah. So give me a rough idea if you got hacked, a rough idea of an Instagram account got hacked, how much would it cost somebody to get help so they could get their own account back?
Yeah. So basically if you wanted guidance or consulting from someone so they could show you kind of what to do, to
just a general idea. I'm sure there's different layers of severity.
Yes, exactly.
As far as how difficult it is.
Yep. 100%. So it kind of goes off of two things, right? So it goes off of, a hacked situation goes off of basically just the severity of the hack, right? Have they got into other platforms? Have they, completely erased your profile? Now, is your profile hacked and it's still up? Can we still see it? Or is it now disabled too? So is it a hacked and disabled? Because someone could hack you, but if they're doing malicious things on your account and Instagram sees that, they disable it. But now it's still hacked because the hacker changed the emails and the phone numbers. So now it's a hacked and disabled case, right? So there's that. But then you also have the other side where it's a disabled. So when you're looking at like costs like consulting, and this isn't like
just a range.
Obviously, I want to make sure that I'm not not saying the wrong things here.
Right.
But to go to someone like myself to get kind of the answers of how to recover your own account, it would range on how many followers you have, right? Because someone that has 2,000 followers, and 50 posts, that doesn't really matter, but like the size of the account does matter. And then the reason, right? There's different ban reasons too. So like hacked is one thing that just kind of goes off of the severity of the hack and the size of the account. And then ban reason would go off of the reason. Let's say if it's, spam, impersonation, authentic identity, fraud and deception ban, copyright, intellectual property, sale, drugs, guns, all that. So there's many different kinds of bans. So there's kind of a wide range, but to answer your question simply, it'd be anywhere between like the highest one, I've had someone pay $25K before. A good basis range would be like anywhere from like 2 to like 6,000.
2 to 6,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's for disabled, and hacked is probably between, I'd say about 3 to 6 or 7,000 too. Now
3 to 6.
Yeah. And that's just
depending.
that's just like basically, let's say you have 100, 150, 200,000 followers. Now, if we're talking, a 5 million follower page, now we're talking bigger numbers, right?
Sure.
But there's also many other services in there. And this is why I love what I do so much, because someone could come to me, like, let's say with an issue, right? And then I take care of their issue, or help them take care of their issue. And then by the time they leave, they realize all these other things that they didn't know that anyone could even do. And now they're getting upsold, or I look at it as helping them, right? I'm like, hey, you have a shadow ban that I don't know if you knew about. Now we're, clearing their shadow ban. Or, hey, you just paid $5,000
I want to know all this stuff.
Like, how do you make sure that now you didn't just throw that $5,000 away and you get banned tomorrow, and now you just threw the $5,000 away? So like, we offer protection too. So, I can protect your account against those false reports, right? And then also like insurances. So like, instead of, a lot of like political warriors, I call them, that always want to talk about politics on Instagram or Facebook, and they're like, why am I always getting shadow banned? It's like, dude, you're talking about, politics all the time. Yeah. So, or OnlyFans girls, they're always posting their links. So like, a lot of those, will do what's called like shadow ban insurance. So instead of coming to me and paying, 3, 4, 5, 6K for a shadow ban removal, and actually sometimes the removals are 7, 8, 9, 10, depending on how many orange circles they have, right? If you go to your account status, you should have all green circles. And how to find your account status, you go to settings, scroll all the way down, you'll see account status.
Hold on, I'm going to look.
Yeah.
Right now. So I go to settings. Where's settings? Settings and privacy.
So you just go to normal settings, actually. Instagram, normal settings, and then you scroll all the way down almost to the bottom where it says like log out.
Where's normal settings?
So just your settings there. Oh, so yeah. So go to settings and privacy. And then you should scroll all the way down.
I scroll all the way down.
And by like log out, almost all the way at the bottom, you should see account status. See that?
Let's see what it says. Oh my gosh. I have 3 greens and 2 oranges.
Uh-oh. Those oranges are like your shirt?
Yeah.
Orange like your shirt?
Yeah.
Is it, which one are the orange circles on?
Removed content.
Okay. That's okay.
And monetization.
Okay. I mean, at least you're not shadow banned.
And, they're all of them, because I just got a few recently that we removed this one, just so you know.
Yeah.
And they said because of copyright issues. It was like my stuff.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
Yep. Oh yeah.
There was it was licensed music. It was the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
so you know what's crazy is I think a lot of
crazy
AI has been implemented into Instagram.
Oh, I mean,
so
it's just picking random stuff from like 2 months ago. We took this off.
They're testing a lot of different updates, and a lot of these triggers that are starting to happen. A lot of them are really
just AI
false flagging.
And we're like saying no, this is not real,
because the only other thing that
you can turn these all green. You can help me.
Correct. I can't do it for you, but
I
could help you show you how to do it. Except for the remove content, you don't really have to worry about that one. That one falls off in like 30 to 60 days, sometimes 60.
But don't I want to educate them that they're falsely doing this? So they don't repeatedly do it and eventually.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just saying it doesn't affect your account health, right? So like that top one, remove content, doesn't affect your account health. Your monetization, that does, because if you want to monetize, then, which you probably don't.
I don't really care.
Yeah. But as far as the
content lowered in feed, that's the throttle.
So the content lowered in feed is kind of like a subject B off of subject A, which would be a shadow ban, which is the what can't be recommended.
That's shadow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So what can't be recommended? If that's orange, you don't want that. That's shadow ban.
Got it.
And then kind of like a subset off of that would be lowered in feed. They typically always go together. Like if you have one, you have the other. If you don't, or they're typically always tied together.
So back to the question on this, you said you offered insurance. So basically a person could pay a different fee and then monthly. You'll repeatedly just keep it clean.
Yep. Yeah. So, and for you, it probably wouldn't make sense, right? Because you don't really,
I don't know what I don't know
and all that. But
honestly,
for the good people, this is for people that it happens all the time, or if someone makes money on Instagram and if their Instagram goes down, they lose money, or if they're running ads, or many different factors up and down. But the main point here is like, I'll have, like, for instance, I'm not going to say names, but I had this one OnlyFans girl. She came to me, and this was, I think, about a year ago. So like my prices were a little bit less. I charged her $3.5K to remove her shadow ban. Now for her account size, which is over 1 million, it'd probably be about 5-6. But she came and then we helped her. And then, about a week later, she gets shadow banned again. And then she comes and then, obviously pays for us to help her again. So she ends up getting it removed. And then about 3 days later, gets shadow banned again. So she keeps, having to just toss money out. So I was like, this would be a great monthly service to provide to these people. So they're not having to worry about, tossing out, 4, 5, 6K every.
She could do a monthly service for a variety of services.
So many different things.
So let me ask you about this. Right now, if you look up my name on Instagram, there's me.
Yep.
And my nephew.
Yep.
Who has the same name.
Right.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
But then
he's going to be successful. I already know
but
that.
then there is one, oh my gosh, it's pretty clean right now. There's only like 4 impersonators right now.
Yeah.
Because normally there's 40.
Yeah. Well, they're like, this Eric War guy, he just screams money. Like we can.
They must have cleaned it up. Something must have happened just recently. Because
they probably, they do swipes pretty recent or pretty.
Because I was trying to get these down for so long, you can't even imagine.
Yeah. Are you verified or meta verified or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. That might have helped. Yeah. So they'll recognize those and clean up a lot of them. But that definitely does help. And honestly, you could probably, if you're meta verified, you'd be able to go into that chat support and talk to them and say, hey, I have 4 accounts that are impersonating me, and then you send them the links, and if they're doing their job and, you're getting your money's worth, they should take them down. But, I have other views on that too. Like, I think, the whole blue check thing was just a crazy moneymaker for Instagram.
Big. People message me saying, my mom fell in love with you and sent you a bunch of money.
What?
And I'm like, it wasn't me.
Oh my. Yeah.
So there's this whole catfishing thing going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would they pick me out of anybody to catfish? But they're out there catfishing people and, having them send money and I've had, somebody just did some face thing and found out that this isn't the real guy.
Because he's probably like, I can't show my face.
Or they'll use my name and change the picture to somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, with AI capabilities now, it's actually probably going to get pretty crazy. It's
all the deep fakes and all that.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, like and this is another thing that I'm starting to think about in going into the next, 5 years of like what's ahead. And actually, I'm looking to be at the forefront of a lot of these things on social media just because, I have, worked with a ton of big names, I can't name them on here, but
big names,
huge names. And, a lot of their social media teams come to me, obviously, because they don't have the time. They come to me and they're like, hey, we got to get these issues fixed. Or like, what are all their new things that we can get on with you? Like, do you have any new services? Which, I still, want to get into all my services. But a big thing that's going to be big, and this is huge, is AI influencers. Now, here's why, is because if you can create an AI influencer almost kind of like, how there's creators now, and then you have you have social media agencies or management companies that manage those creators.
Right.
You could essentially be the management of these creators and influencers that aren't real.
Yeah.
Right. So that they don't have to take a cut, and you're running and automating all their content and everything. And I mean, now these ad spend are spending tons of money on ads and just throwing money at these influencers that nobody knows that they're not real, right? They're supposed to look as real as you can get.
But just spectacularly gorgeous.
Just amazing. Like, girls and guys, and they're perfect, and, all this all around the board. I mean, imagine the ad spend that you can get from, let's just say, creating 10, and you pump the followers up. I mean, I could take an AI avatar of a girl, and I could blow her up, organically to probably 2 million followers in a year. And it would be easy because like, I know what the audience likes and I know what they want. And obviously I don't have the time to do that. Right. Like I would have my team do it, but if I could like kind of,
and how close are the tools to being
able to do that?
Like really do it at scale?
Oh,
6 months out? A year out?
I'd say probably 6 to a year, because like we can create AI accounts already. It's about the AI creating the content.
Right.
That's the tough part about its scaling, right?
Right.
Because like to scale, you need that AI pretty much working their ass off creating content, which means you need someone behind a computer and just like thinking of different ideas. And honestly, there'll be a time where you'll be able to automate it, right? And that's
it'll learn, but
But
now you have to prompt it, like really prompt it.
But also it's like, how do you put them out in real world? And how do you, because like you can't only just make AI photos and AI this, like how do you make reels of them, going stories. To do things or stories or whatever. But if you can lock that down and then let's say you get 10 and they're all cranking.
Nobody's going to trust anything.
No, I mean.
In about 2 years, nobody's going to trust anything. They might be entertained.
It's going to be really tough.
I just want to jump in and say, I hope you're getting value from everything that we do at the Excellence Project. And if you do, make sure to follow us on all the social platforms. If you look up Eric Worre or the Excellence Project, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, everywhere where you get your content on social media. Find us over there. We'll continue the conversation. Back to the podcast. You're already seeing so many AIs of, I don't know if you noticed, like just recently, they're doing these like fake press conferences with like athletes after the game.
Yeah.
Where they're talking just total trash about the other person, which they're not saying stuff, but they're just doing it as, as a goof. And just to have fun.
The crazy thing is a lot of these people are going to start, there's going to be some time where it starts something crazy off of something that was AI because
politically.
Yes, exactly.
Or I mean, globally,
you could sound like Trump right now, with a 100%. With a click of a button,
100%.
Or even someone else influential that might even, be able to, say something and, cause Trump's not going to just call someone, right? But someone that's influential enough to call someone and say something and it might cause an effect. And like, AI is
your services are going to be pretty important because, a person can be put in an artificial compromising situation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And make it, and it'll look like they did something, bad.
100%.
Where they didn't do something bad. And then now they need to, how do you prove, how do you get that removed? How do you prove it?
Yeah. And that's a whole other spaghetti bowl of a conversation because it's like, you could go, there's so many directions of like, of how people think and feel when they actually get disabled. I see it at the forefront, right?
It takes away their identity.
Years, and it's their life, like people are just, and this is, part of the reason why I had to, build out my team and all this stuff is because like, it was emotionally taxing because imagine like a normal person, right? Or let's just say a business entrepreneur, like they're all on Instagram, their business is on there and everything. And their Instagram goes down, which some people that watch this might be able to relate. But then their day is crushed, right? The only thing on their mind is getting this back. So I become their punching bag, really.
Oh, really?
It's two things, right? I guess I shouldn't say punching bag right away, but when things are either A, taking long, or B, they
already have trust issues.
They're upset with Instagram or Facebook, but they don't have a voice to Facebook.
Right.
They have a voice to me. So like I get, and a lot of people are respectful. Like I'm not trying to say, like they come at me any certain types of ways, or anything, but I get the raw versions and I get, you're my best friend. Like, I want to invite you here. I'm going to send you gifts and the amount, like I was just showing Derek the amount of gifts that I've gotten from clients is it's special. It's awesome, and the variety of people that I've got the opportunity to deal with, it's really cool because especially in like the group chat that we're in, it's all full of just super high,
interesting people,
high interest or high integrity, top of their game type people in that chat, right? And a lot of people in that chat are, you know, good at what they do, right? So it's just really cool being able to intermix with so many different spaces, I guess you could say.
All right. So service number one is, let's just call it account health on all platforms.
Right. So yeah. So security, recovery, all that.
Whatever, any restrictions or hackers or those types of things, that's the bread and butter.
That would be the bread and butter. Yeah.
And beyond that, what other services do you provide?
Yeah. So I actually love that we're talking about this because I'm super excited about, I'm excited about a few things going on right now, but I'm really excited about, I just stepped into a space that I think will completely demolish the bread and butter, which is rep management. So basically what that means, and I'm like doubling down on like full strengths on this because like the opportunity to help people when a lot of like, if you get your account taken down, you might have, you know, a lot of people say, hey, you know, reach out to Zach or something. But if I'm totally unavailable, you'll be able to find somebody, right? For this, it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot different. Like, and what I'm saying is Google reviews, Trustpilot reviews, Reddits. Some of these Reddits are tearing people's lives apart. Yeah. And I never knew that.
So when you say rep management, you're meaning reputation.
Yeah.
So if somebody is, you know, targeted by a hater group or something and just, you know, they're just going after them hardcore.
Yeah.
Character assassinating them. I've had friends have that happen.
Absolutely. Defamation. Yeah.
Yeah. Just terrible stuff.
Yeah. So that, I mean, you get a lot of like competitors that are trying to wipe their competition out. You know, I have one client right now, he has 25 Trustpilot reviews, that he needs to get removed. And honestly, you know, either it could be actual reviews from these people and that's how they actually feel. But then I've also seen scenarios where, you know, it's targeted and it's their competition and they're doing it on purpose. So like, I try to take things with no emotion because what I've learned is if I'm like, should I remove this? Because like, what if they are really scamming people? And like, if I remove these and they scam more people, am I wrong for taking this down? But I had to take a step back and just say, hey, this is what I do. This is my business. No emotional attachment connection to it whatsoever. And that's just how I kind of look at everything now, because if I do, it's just it's gonna be too hard to move forward with anything. Yeah.
With everything.
And I'm not, you know, I don't have that position to judge. Right.
Right.
So I just, you know,
Plus it'd take a lot of time. It would take a lot of time to try and figure out.
And I mean, the mental capacity,
whose side of the story and all that.
Yeah. And then the mental side of it too is just,
can you do that for companies as well as
absolutely.
Individuals?
Yeah. Yeah. Companies is my biggest one right now. And when I say just stepped into it, I've already made multiple six figures within, I'd say, man, probably 2 months.
Yeah.
Like I literally just stepped into it. But what I've found is there's a lot of people that they don't know that there's anyone that can do anything about that. So, you know, they're not really out there reaching out to people or anything. They're just kind of just taking the brunt of it and they're like, hey, like I'm trying to push my coaching program. I'm trying to, you know, be a mentor or, you know, push this, or my med spa is still running. But when people go on Google, they see this pop up and it's the first thing they see is the Reddit article. And they're just taking it because they didn't know that there was you know, anybody out there that could do anything about it. Now that they know that, like the financial aspect of this and the margins are great, you know? So it's great for business, but
are there platforms that are easier and harder? In that?
Yes.
What are the harder ones?
Yeah. So great question. So, and I just want to wrap that up. So it's also great for them too, right?
Sure.
Because they're getting their name cleared up. They're getting that
100%.
off the.
Nobody wants shit talk about them out there in the marketplace?
Yeah. So basically the harder ones are definitely Trustpilot. It took me about, I'd say I've been looking for, so I've been dabbling, like I just started like going full force into the rep management, I'd say about 2-3 months ago. But I've been dabbling in it, for a year or so. 6 months ago, I started looking for a Trustpilot because nobody could do it. Like all my providers, they were like, dude, that's the hardest one. Like you won't be able to. And everyone was just saying it's not possible. Like that's the only one that they basically don't allow any removal whatsoever. Well, me being who I am and my personality, like I'm like,
good
ching,
challenge.
ching, ching. Yeah. So I was thinking, that's where the money's at because that's where nobody else is. Right. So I'm like, I need to figure that out. So I just put tons of time into just specifically just focusing on that, like every night I would just message, like I work normally till, 12:31, 2 a.m. And cause it's the best time for me to get stuff done. Cause I don't have, hundreds of messages coming in and it's just kind of my time, just to knock out work. But, every night I'll message about 4 to 5, maybe 6 people, just kind of putting out feelers for Trustpilot. And it took about 6 months to find one. And then I found one just recently, actually. So now we got a great relationship. I'm running ads now. I have 2 ads currently running and I mean, the amount of action on these ads is actually blowing my mind.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
I can't even keep up because I have a Reddit removal.
It's probably a smaller team now, just because you're just ramping it up, right?
Yeah, right. Yep. You mean my team personally?
Yeah. To be able to do the rep management.
Yes, exactly.
You're figuring out how to do it, and now you got to build the team.
Yep, exactly. So I hired specifically people for Reddit. I'll hire specific people for Trustpilot. And then,
like YouTube.
So YouTube, I actually am very close at getting a very good contact there. Right now I have someone that can do YouTube stuff, but he's not in-house. And he's not, obviously a rep wouldn't be.
How about like just random websites?
Website? Yeah, I can do that. There's rep management companies out there that are doing that at scale.
Of course.
And
they do it a couple different ways.
Yeah.
One is they take stuff down and the other, the other's legal.
Yep.
One is getting stuff taken off.
Yep.
And
reporting it.
And the third is overwhelming it with positive. So moving it down.
Yeah. Which I
pages, 4 or 5 levels.
Yeah. No one wants that. I mean, that's the kind of the I'd say the cheap man way to do it. Like you could definitely do that, but like when you go to look up someone's page and you see, 800 5 stars, 200 4 stars, and let's just say 10 1 stars. What are you going to do? You're going to click the 1 stars. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter of driving the negatives down. Does that make sense?
Well, here's what I mean. Let's say there's a negative article, right?
Yep.
And you get 20 articles written up by different publications around the world.
Yep. Okay, I get what you're saying.
And pushes that article down.
Yes. Yep.
In to page 4.
Right. So they Google. They see all these good ones.
They see all the good stuff first, and then they see
sense.
some negative, below that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that definitely I think is very good.
And there's some hacks when it comes to the 1-star stuff too.
Yeah.
Which is to put a 1-star.
Yep.
On your own thing.
Yeah.
And have it be a positive.
Oh wow. Yes. Okay. I like that. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Have it be a positive review, an accidental 1-star.
Yeah.
Because people will look that up.
And they'll be like, oh, well,
and this person says, I wish I could give this thing a 1-star, but it was really, blah, 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 blah. So it's just an extra little tip that you can throw in your arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying
go 1-star your own stuff.
1-star. And then you say,
and then have it be a positive review.
What do you say in the review?
A positive.
Okay. Just like, Zac was amazing with everything he did. And
yeah, I wish I could, I intended on hating this.
Yeah.
I wanted to hate it, but
yeah.
Okay. I just couldn't.
Gotcha.
You know,
or
have a friend do that or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, what I was kind of thinking when you said put a 1 star on your own, I was thinking if you put a 1 star on your own and then you wrote a bad review, but make it something so dumb.
Yeah.
So people are like,
same thing, same concept.
This person's dumb. Like, who cares about that?
Yeah.
You know, like,
I didn't like the color.
I would never leave this company a review 1 star because of that. Like this company's good. You know, like just kind of like, yeah.
I've had some friends do that.
Really? Yeah.
And it's worked.
Well. Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. So we got
trust,
account health, social media account health. We have reputation management.
Yep.
And, you know, keeping your name as clean as you can keep it out there in the world. What else? Anything else? Or does that take up everything?
No. There's so much more. Honestly, we probably won't have time to go through everything.
Well, give me a quick laundry list.
Yeah. So, just like list things off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what?
Or did you want me to talk about the next one?
I mean, whichever.
Okay. So like brand.
You tell me.
Yeah. So like brand partnerships, we've done, and also growing brands, right? With like organic growth, auditing, I call it like kind of like, a makeover, like a personal brand makeover. So I'll say like if someone,
how to be more attractive,
right?
More
if someone's like, hey, I just don't have an online presence, or a company comes and they're like, hey, we're the greatest lawn mowing service ever, but like we don't have an online presence. They can come and, you know, we'll do like a Google knowledge panel for them. We'll, you know, make a couple press articles. Like we do this for solar companies a lot because, you know, solar, you know, it's really good to get good press out there, or even pest control door-to-door companies. Like we can handle good press for them. We can take down negative Google reviews. And then, you know,
teach them how to be more attractive.
Yes. And then we'll make, we could do, you know, websites, logo designs, you know, funnels, tons of like, you know, business coaches, and honestly, just like business professionals, entrepreneurs on social media that typically realize all the other things that I do. And then they'll be like, well, you're amazing at that. So like, what else do you do? And then they'll kind of just, it's almost like a candy store when they go, like if you went on my website right now, it just says kind of like, I'd say about 80% of the things that I do are on my website, which is dreamlife.agency. But yeah, like, you know, growing brands, growing businesses organically or paid. I give them kind of the option and I show them the benefits and, you know, kind of
what does it cost for
negatives
followers?
Of both. It depends kind of the quality that you want to do. So like if it's like paid traffic, we're not talking
about
bots. No.
Right.
So this is, it's called paid traffic. So it's not bots. Bots are like Indian bots and like, and spam, like, you know, Instagram will completely ruin your engagement because of it. But these are paid traffic and it's not necessarily real people behind these profiles. It's made profiles, but the quality that I have on like the server that I have it's insane. It's like a girl, she posts 2 times a day. She posts 4 stories a day, Miami, you know, she, has comments and likes on all of her pictures. Like there's no way that you'd be able to tell that she's not real. Like absolutely no way. There's no way. So that quality, obviously it costs a little bit more. Right. And then I have also, you know, paid traffic as well.
Do you just sell like per 1,000 or what do you do?
It's typically per 1,000.
Per 1,000 followers?
It depends, like, you know, for something like that, it'd be per 1,000 because it's a little bit more expensive. And then, you know, when you talk about like, that's kind of like, I call it the premium quality. And then when you go to the gold quality, which is a little bit less, but it's a lot more cost efficient, it's like 5,000 for like $300. And, you know, and then as you go up, you get, you know, lower prices, right? So like, I think 50,000 is, if I'm thinking right, like, 3,500, I think 50,000. And that's for gold quality. But then, premium, you're looking at about 3 times that. So, but the premium, like there's people that care about what they look like and there's people that don't. Right. And I've seen positives come out of both. Right. And I've seen people that have boosted their account to, I don't recommend this, but they boosted their account to 10 million. Right. And, I could probably do that in a couple weeks. Right. But your engagement for life is going to be nothing. Garbage, horrible. But whoever does come to your page and sees it organically is going to be like, who the heck is this guy? Right. Like now,
mine's been completely organic.
Right. Well, that's awesome. That's, that's a huge flex. And honestly, like when I come back, I'm
pissed off though, that these other guys have just like ran past me. Like I'm standing still.
Yeah. Like what, on your followers, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to understand 90% of who you think is running past you is buying followers.
Are they?
100%. Like I promise you, the names, if I name them off, that I actually see in because there's huge servers, right? That pretty much all the accounts, they're called panels, right? That sell followers. They're all part of like one master panel. And then there's all these other little panels, right? That I have a panel. But they're like the names that I've seen in the list of people that have just like came in there to buy is like, we're talking like, like the highest celebs. Like,
yeah, they just want to flex.
I mean, and everyone, even down to, guys that you probably talk to on a daily basis, which like guys I know that you for sure talk to on a daily basis are buying followers. Like everyone is doing it, but it's starting to turn. It's starting to be more normal to buy followers than it used to be, but it's also starting to turn where now people are like, okay, I'm at 300K. I had a lot of doors open for me. I've met a lot of cool people.
I'm good.
I've DM'd people. They've responded. We connected. Now we're in business together. I'm good. Like my investment into these followers has paid off. Now I want to reverse time. I want to go all organic.
Right.
And now I have another service now that is actually one of a kind. I don't think there's one out there that can do it. It's a scraper. So like I'll be able to go through and scrape a profile and select like bindings of like, okay, if they're following less than, or if their followers are less than 10, remove. Or if they have 3 or less pictures, remove. Or if they have,
does that affect quality?
What's that?
Does that affect the quality of your feed or something?
Remove those? Fake followers? No, or like bot followers?
Like if somebody has, the less than 3 pictures or whatever.
No. Okay. So, my service, or less than 10 followers. That's on, no, it doesn't affect anything. But I guess I was explaining my service. Like if you went to it and this is how it kind of runs. Like I'm able to select, cause it's auto, right? It's auto remove. So I set it up automatically.
Why would you want to auto remove people?
For the fake or bot followers. Like let's say if someone boosted their account to
I see.
300,000. And then let's say they're like, okay, I've opened all these doors.
But that wrecked their engagement. Now they want to actually get engagement.
Now they want to get engagement.
So
now
they scrape that stuff off.
Yeah. Now they're like, hey, I want to reverse time. I want to, remove a lot of these followers that aren't engaging because they're messing with my real engagement. A lot of my real followers that are following me are not seeing my stuff because how Instagram treats it when content gets pushed out is they push it out and then they go, okay, Eric has, and this is obviously, hypothetical. He has 300,000. Now in milliseconds, when you put a post out, they say, how fast are his followers engaging with his stuff and how many are? And then they go, oh, wait, only 0.5% are actually engaging because when you look at 300,000 and let's say you get 2 likes in 10 minutes, they're like, oh, 0.05 or okay. And then they put your post to the way back. Now, next time you post, they already are keeping all these tallies in their head, right? So, and obviously I'm not talking about your account. You're all real, right? But this is for, you know, your general person that, which you'll be able to check on your page. You could go to followers and it'll go, if you go to followers and friends, you should have something that pops up that says spam,
flagged for review.
Flagged for review.
I have 14,468 flagged for review.
So you do have spam. It doesn't mean you bought them. I like to tell people that it doesn't necessarily mean you bought them.
So if I click on that, I can delete
remove them. Yeah. So like basically that service right there, I'm offering because not everyone has that. Yep.
So I just remove all.
Yeah. Yep. You remove all. Yeah. So not everybody has that.
By 14,468 people.
Yeah. But now watch this. The funny thing is because of like the update, they added that, but then they also didn't add it to a lot of accounts, but you'll also see probably like give it 2 days after they're all removed. You'll probably see in 2 days from now, another 10,000 pop up.
Cause I've done it a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It keeps repopulating because what it does is it scans some of your followers. So like, let's say you take your total followers of like a 10 quadrants, right? It might scan like 2 or 3 quadrants, and then that's how many it finds in there, and then it shows them to you. And then once you remove them, then it goes to the other quadrants and keeps going until eventually you got them all. Because they can't just put, you have 80,000 or let's say if someone has 200,000 flagged and you press remove, it's going to mess the system up like that. Right. They can't remove that many at once, right? So that's kind of why they do it in blocks like that.
Does follower to following ratio matter?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. The ratio, your following to followers ratio, I always like to have it at like 5%. Like, so like if you have,
I'm following 1,044 people and I have 862,000 followers.
I always recommend.
What's that? 862 to 1?
Yeah. That would be, I mean, honestly, let's see.
So that's got to be like
way less.
0.000.
Yeah. But how I kind of look at it is like this, like no matter what your kind of preferences are with that, the way that they look at the ratio is if you have, it's almost like the more followers you have, the less you should be following. So when you go to accounts like, you know, huge influencers, right? You might see someone with 20 million followers and they're following 48 people, right?
Right.
Then you might go to an account and they have 2 million followers and they might be following 500 people, right? And then you go to another account, they might have 600,000 people and they're following 1,100 people, right? It almost kind of seems like it scales like that. But just personally, I always recommend having, and this is obviously everyone's preference. It does matter in Instagram's eyes too, which I can tell you why in a second, but I always recommend having under 300. Like, because
no matter what, under 300.
No matter what, because there shouldn't be more than 300 people that you want to be spreading your attention to, right? Because that's how you kind of have to look at it. Because like,
I have to go unfollow 800 people.
I mean, you don't have to, but I would recommend it simply because I'm
0.001% now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in I guess percentages is kind of the wrong way to look at it, right? It probably isn't factored in percentages. It's more in like, and there's a psychological aspect of
somebody
this
has
too,
10,000 followers and they're following 8,000.
8,000, right? Exactly. Like it's almost like it works opposites like that, right? But the attention that you're spreading, like what I would do is I'd find your top 300 people that you really, really, really get value out of, and I would only follow those people, right? And in a lot of it would be hard to really name somebody that has more than a list of 300 people that they see tons of value in, right? And because when you do see value in people, you want to see them more often. You want to see their posts more often, right? Like,
I'm going to hurt a bunch of people's feelings.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's another,
because it's a flex for them.
Huge thing. So a lot of people, they want to have 3,000 or 2,000 that they're following because they feel bad about removing them as a follower because they're following them. Right. So it's kind of Instagram's weird like that.
No, it's not about the reciprocal follow.
Yeah.
It's just for some, like in my world, it's a flex.
Yeah.
For them.
Oh, for them. Yeah.
That I follow them.
Right. 100%. But it was a flex at that point when you did. Yeah. Is it still?
Probably.
And are you worried about what they are thinking?
I mean, if they're a good customer or something, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but do you have 800? How many,
here's what I typically in the network marketing space, right?
I get that.
If somebody's a 6 or 7 figure earner,
you like
in network marketing,
which makes total sense.
That means we're going to be seeing each other more often. Especially the 7-figure earners. The big shots.
Yeah,
company owners, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's
and see someone in your position. And this is kind of how social media works. There's always nuances and there's always, different. It's not
there's a celebrity play. There's an e-commerce play.
Yeah. It's definitely not black and white. So when I say, I always recommend under 300, that's not binary, right? Like in your position,
generally,
it makes sense. Yeah. Just generally, like if someone generally, like there's no reason why you should be following 2,000 people,
right?
Because you only see maybe 30 people a day when you scroll.
Yeah.
Like what people are giving you the most value, that are adding the most value to your day, follow those people. Like, let's say for instance, like when I, obviously had my Instagram up, I wanted to, I'm a go. What's next? Like always. And then I have ADHD on top of that. So I'm a go, squirrel. Like I have the worst of both worlds on that. Right. So like for me, I need to keep centered. Right. So I might follow someone that reminds me of peace or relaxing or living in the moment or taking a trip and actually putting your phone away. I might follow a person like that, or I might follow, someone that is just super good business minded, because right now I'm building my business and scaling. So I need Alex Hormozi tips all day. Like I need that. Right. I'm not a huge scroller on Instagram. I never really have been. I go on there, make money and post stories and sometimes post posts and get off. I'm going to do kind of a new method now when I come back. But like, obviously, I'm not saying that I never scroll, but if I was to scroll, like, what do I want to consume? What do I want to put in my body? Right. And typically it's things that I want to learn, because I don't want to aimlessly scroll and look at, big asses and do it for self-pleasure type. I want to do it to learn. I want to constantly be learning all the time. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like to find people that either A, I learn from, B, remind me to live in the moment, or, remain at peace, or, keep going after goals. And then also, people that I look up to, like, hey, this guy's crushing it. Like, I want to follow his journey. So I like to make sure that content is what I'm consuming, and it's not, some just random shit that I don't care about.
So with the different, it's funny because how I started this whole journey that I'm doing right now is 2008.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking around MySpace time,
Yeah.
And I'm looking around like this social is going to be a thing. And Facebook was just a thing. But Facebook was just a thing for students at the time.
Yep. I remember. And you had to have a school email to log in.
Yep. And they just opened it up, and I'm like, this is going to be a thing.
God, I wish I would have found something back then to make money.
So
there was probably 100 different ways.
100 different ways. So I'm asking around who really knows this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm asking for people's opinions, and Gary Vaynerchuk's name kept coming up. So I call him. He's working at his dad's wine store, but at the time he was doing a wine vlog and getting like 80,000 views a day.
Yep.
Way back then, 2008, just tasting wine.
Yep.
So I said, how much for a couple hours of your time? I paid him 10 grand.
Yep.
I flew out to New Jersey, sat down at the wine library.
Wow.
And just said, all right, I want to do what you're doing for wine. I want to do in the network marketing space.
Wow.
So I just started vlogging basically back then. But back then it was a race to get to 5,000 followers.
Oh yeah.
Remember how everybody, if you didn't have 5,000 followers, you were nobody.
Yep. Exactly.
Now I'm trying as hard as I can to go the opposite. To go down. So I get tons of followers on my regular account on top of my, business account, those types of things.
Yeah.
But it's changed so much.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're going to look back on today like we look back on 2008, 2009, the way we do now, and say, oh my gosh, I wish I would have really doubled down. I think 10 years from now, 5 years from now, people are going to say, you mean you got started in 2024?
Yeah.
You're kidding me?
Lucky.
You're so lucky. You're so early before AI even took off.
And here's the thing with that. And I like that you brought up the Gary Vaynerchuk thing, because like what you just said, I want to make sure that I add this because it's so important. When he was doing the wine library, getting how many views you said?
80,000.
80,000 in 2008, which is absolutely
insane. He was in the New York
insane.
Times and he was on Conan O'Brien. And I mean, all this crazy stuff.
What a lot of people don't know is in 2008, he had been posting every single day since 2002, I think. Like long time.
Yeah.
So they don't see that.
Yeah.
They see the 80,000 views in 2008. Dang, he's crushing it. Yeah, this dude's been putting in work for 10 years every day consistently. Like he's got the tenure, he's
it was about 4, but yeah.
4. Okay. Yeah. So like, I didn't know the exact year, but I know that he was hammering for every single day consistently. So,
and shit quality.
Oh yeah. Like I seen the first videos just holding up the glass and just no
spitting
background.
into a Jets bucket.
Yeah.
And the whole thing.
But it's just that consistency that's wild. That's why like it's hurting me it's not hurting my business not being online. I mean, I'm sure it's affecting it, but it's helping me lock in more.
Yeah, you focus
so I'm
on
not
services.
distracted. Yeah, and I'm building that foundation. And this is what I tell my team is like, we're building that foundation right now to scale. So like we're putting the pieces on, and we're about to take off like with everything. And the visions that I see going forward. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
not at all.
I'm going to kind of loop back into what you're talking about.
Please.
Obviously there's a lot of other services that I offer, but one thing that I'm super excited about is the AI coming out, because I'm doubling down on that. I think this is going to be the biggest thing ever. I think they said it's the biggest thing ever since fire, which is crazy.
They say it's gonna dwarf what the internet did. Yeah.
So I've also heard that the first trillionaire ever will be made from AI somehow, like with some sort of, which trillion, even thinking about that number is absolutely insane, but with some service or something, someone's going to fall into something that AI takes it to 1 million. And that's actually crazy to hear. But, us being successful, and obviously I'm, not on your level, but us being, where we're at and having kind of these steps ahead of everybody else and having a brain that thinks visually in the future, it puts us 10 years ahead, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, what can I do now? And I think that's one of my really strong suits that actually, I've been told from people that that I surround myself with. They're like, you're very incredible at thinking big and visualizing and then, and me, I'm not like the put it to work and actually I have people to put those things in places and make that happen.
You find the resources. You're not a coder or anything.
No. So I'm the visionary. Like I can have visions.
You find a way to solve the problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Or a process to solve the problem.
With where we're at with AI, the thing that I launched, just I'm not sure if you saw it, the ebook. I did a 3-part ebook series.
Okay.
So it was a 3-part ebook tool series. So the first, and I have these phases like in mind, right? So first phase is kind of give people the tools, but it was essentially more or less to let my community know and let the broad community know that I'm into AI. Zach's into AI. Dream Life Agency has AI in it. If you have questions about it, we do consulting. We can show you different methods to implement into your business to make it run more efficiently using AI. So all these things, which that's really important because, you know, I have a lot of social media clients that come to me for those things.
You want to be on the cutting edge.
I want to be on the cutting edge, and I want them to think AI, think Zach right away, right? So because then it puts you in that position to where if you have the opportunity, which what's that saying? It goes, you know, success is preparation meets opportunity, right? Like if you were to meet the opportunity, not be prepared, you'd be screwed. But if you obviously were prepared and then the opportunity placed itself, now you're taking off, right? So like I'm making the steps to make sure that I'm prepared because I know the opportunity is going to present itself. And the reason why is because I'm starting to push out kind of all these like tools, right? The ebook is basically out of all these AI tools that I've used and people I've know have used and all that. I basically narrowed them down to like what is good and what's not, right? Like what I think is, and this is obviously my opinion, right? But, you know, I feel like it's very valid. And I feel like if people were like, I want to test this myself and they went, they would probably see, you know, on 70, 80% the same result. Right. But, you know, so you got your content AI tools, your business AI tools, your overall marketing AI tools, like all these things all smashed in a 3-part series. It's an AI toolbox. And I offered it for free to the group in a 3-part series. And then I'm finishing the ad creatives. My team's, finishing the ad creatives to launch it to the public. It'll be $11.11 each part. So it'll be $33.33 for the whole thing. And then there's going to be an upsell there that's 200-page chat GBT prompt guide. So learning GBT is one thing, but a lot of people will hop on it, type some things in, get an answer back and be like, that sounds way too robot-y. I don't want to use this. And then that's how they think about chat now, right? Or that's how they think about AI. That's not it. You need to learn how to talk to it, right? You need to learn how to prompt it. And it's getting smarter as time goes on.
They say it's going to just absolutely smash search.
Well, it already has.
Search is going to be gone.
I mean, anyone that's using Google over ChatGPT just doesn't, they don't know chat yet, right? And like I said, I call AI chat, but ChatGPT, the 01 preview now is out where you can have full conversations with it. You can tell it the only thing that it can't do is do the task, right? But yet. And I was telling, you know, Derek here that I was like, you know, I heard a podcast with this guy that was talking about how he gave ChatGPT, and this is a really cool story. He gave ChatGPT a challenge. The challenge was that in 6 months, he wanted to hit 100,000 followers, or it might've been 100,000 subscribers. No, I think it was 100,000 followers. So he basically inputted like where he was at, like everything that, you know, all of his content, like what he does, and just kind of told it like the story behind it. And then he prompted it to give him daily tasks and then weekly goals and monthly goals. And obviously he wants to finish after the 6 months with over 100,000. So obviously he starts doing that. And then, you know, time's going on. He's following everything to the T. Like he's at night, he's inputting how many followers he gained that day. And by the end of 6 months, he overpassed the goal. And it was chat that helped him do that because of the inputs, right? Yep. So what I did is I reverse engineered that. And I'm training Chat 01 Preview, which is actually just my chat profile because you can pick anyone, but the preview is kind of the best what I recommend is the best for kind of like broadcast game planning or goals. Like if you want to set goals. And I've done, basically a money goal, right? So I said 2028, I want to hit 50 million. And then I inputted, you know, kind of where I'm at, you know, what it's looked like, kind of give it like, you know, financials from years previous now, and, you know, what projects I'm working on, how I think they're going to do. And, you know, kind of like a rough estimate of daily, monthly, like all these details I'm inputting, which I'm still inputting. Like I'm not even done with that step yet. So I'm excited to see what it says, but it's going to give me those daily tasks, weekly goals, monthly goals, and yearly goals. And eventually, like I said, 2028, like my goal is to cross the 50 million line. And I think it's going to be able to do it, you know? So I'm super excited about that. Just because I know how powerful it is. And I know how its ability to learn. So like, if I say, hey, here's where I'm at, and this is like, you know, October 6th or, and you know, I did this and I got this outcome, it can learn, oh, that was wrong. Let me input this. And then we're going to make that up on this day by doing this. And like the learning model now, it's called advanced learning, or, deep advanced learning, or something like that. It's pretty wild. So it has the ability to not only shoot out an answer, but it thinks about what it's going to say before it says it. But then it also thinks about what it said in the previous message that you sent it and how that relates. And then I've been following this guy on YouTube, which if anyone out there, where is the camera? Right there. If anyone out there is interested in finding a niche and just going all in, if I had the time, which I don't, that's why I'm not going to do this. If I had the time, I would start a YouTube channel and just do nothing but AI content. And I would teach the general public how to use AI, chat prompts, different like questions, how you can get it to, dissect its answers and think better. Like,
all the use cases.
Like I even asked it like a question, it gave me an answer. And then I said, I love that answer. I want you to take that answer and think about it a little bit more, and find 3 things in that answer that you could have done a little bit better, and then rewrite my answer. So it did that. And I kept going and I kept dissecting and saying, now out of that, pick 2 things that you think could have done better. Now, not only pick them, but tell me why why those could have been better and how that's going to present itself better. So its ability just is crazy. And I'm like super excited. And I think there's going to be a lot of change and a lot of impact that, you know, not only Dream Life Agency, but like anyone that uses it, it can change a lot, you know?
Well, here's what I would say. And just to be respectful of your time is one, social's not going anywhere.
No. Yeah.
So make sure you have a healthy account.
Yeah.
2, make sure you have a healthy reputation.
Absolutely.
Unless you want to have a bad reputation.
Yeah.
Because it gets attention for whatever reason.
Yeah.
3, get in front of, I mean, I started 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Just posting with no plan, just posting.
Where did you ever, and I was trying to figure this out, which now obviously I get the opportunity to ask you. And by the way, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Yeah. But did you ever work for, or were you ever in the network market in the field?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you got in and probably became really successful, then became a trainer, right?
Well, I was for 36 years now, I've been involved.
Okay.
In the network marketing profession.
Wow.
And then 15 years ago, while I was still involved in the field, I started Network Marketing Pro.
Got it.
Just to do something on social.
Why did you do that? Did you say there's no one? Mark Aceta does that too, but he's not
the reason. The reason is Jim Rohn. And do you know who Jim Rohn is?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, so, I don't know him, but yeah.
Yeah, he's passed away.
Yeah, right.
In my mind, he was just at the last months of his life.
Wow.
And in my mind, I was like, it would have been really cool if he had a camera in his pocket for all of his stories instead of just, the audio recordings of him that are out there.
Yeah.
And he could leave 10,000 videos.
Wow.
As a library, as a little love letter to.
Because he had the best statements.
Yeah. So, I mean, he'll be around for a long time. So I did it as an homage to him. Like, I'm just gonna, first year I put up like 250 videos or something like that.
Yeah.
Like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And, I did it all myself and sent it out to everybody and, posted it. And
this is all videos of your like training.
Yeah. Just talking about, here's a tip for the day. Here's an idea. Here's a thought. Here's a story.
Yeah.
Here's a book recommendation, whatever, just around my world.
Yeah. And that turned into consulting.
That turned into, within about a year and a half, I had to make a choice. Because I was in the field and people were trying to join my team from other organizations.
Yeah.
Not from me, but they were just trying so they can get free training.
Yeah. They just want to be around you.
Yeah. Yep. So people were like, hey, you're poaching. And I go, I'm all right. I've got to choose here.
Yeah.
Which way am I going to go? This is really fulfilling. It's very interesting. But if I have to make a choice, I'm going to try and be a resource to the whole world.
Yes. Yep,
instead of just my team.
Yeah.
So that was a hard choice, but made that choice and, haven't looked back really.
Yeah.
Early and consistent, I just out produced everybody.
Yeah. Right. So you just knew right away that you're like, I'm good at this.
I was reasonably good at training, talking with people,
okay,
communicating, connecting with an audience, reasonably.
Got it.
Still have improvement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for improvement, obviously.
Yeah.
We're always growing, but I was good enough.
Yeah. And you obviously knew that you would be valuable to a lot of people.
Yeah. Because you get the feedback, you get the tap on the shoulder. So you don't know me, but I started watching you 3 years ago. Yeah. Whatever.
That's awesome. I've had that feeling before. Not on your level, obviously.
No, I mean, it's all relative.
In sales. Yeah.
But just the ability to contribute to somebody else's life in a positive way is very fulfilling.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah. 100%.
And I'm sure we'll be doing some stuff together. I'm sure all of my platforms need to be audited.
Yeah.
So to figure out how to be more healthy and seen.
Yeah.
Because if you're producing content, you want to be seen.
100%. You clean it up. And honestly, there's a big just visual aspect about it that a lot of people just, even a couple tweaks. Like I did a webinar, I posted in the chat. I'm not sure how active you are in there, but, and I mean, I got great feedback because I just gave value, on just super tiny things that make a huge difference that a lot of people just don't know. Like,
do you have a link for that?
No, but, I do have it recorded, but I told people I didn't record it so they'd hop on the next one.
Oh,
but
the only reason
send it to you.
Can we put it in the show notes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would that be okay?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right.
Let me trim it because there's a lot
of
like,
you trim it up, and when it's ready,
absolutely,
we'll put it in the show notes and let people check it out.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's it'd be great value for your audience because like, I mean, I show people, and I'll just give it quick 4 bullet point of what is on there so they know what they're clicking on.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, Instagram can hide DMs from you. So I show people how to access your hidden DMs. A lot of people think that you just go to messages and then hit requests, and then it says hidden messages. You hit that and then it's in there. No, there's like a level behind that. And I've showed.
Why do they hide messages? DMs from you?
I don't know why they do it, but I know 100% that this is a thing because I have a friend that sued Facebook and won, and they had to put in that hidden messages sign. But
is that the filter, or where do you?
No, it's a kind of a process. But you change your profile to personal.
Okay.
And then you click on your messages, and then you go to requests. And then you go to hidden messages, and then at the top where it says all messages, you click on that, and then it should drop down this box that says I think all followers or new follow, or it'll drop down a box, and then you click on.
Well, you don't have to give me all the details.
Yeah, right. That's why I said it's a little method, right? So which that will be on there. I'll chop it up a little bit so it's not an hour and a half. I'll chop it to like 45 minutes or so. I'll have one of my
how to find your hidden DMs.
Yeah, how to find your hidden DMs, and then the other one is on there is a simple setting tweak that will allow you to reach tons of more people in your settings. A lot of people don't know about it, and they have it flipped on. It should be off. And then another one is just a couple tips, like even after you post, you should absolutely just get off your Instagram, close out the app. Don't stay on Instagram, because Instagram's purpose and goal is to get you back onto Instagram as fast as they can. So the reason why you get off your phone immediately after you post and close out the app is because they'll start pushing your post to way more people to ping you with as many notifications as they can to get you back on. So it's a little hack.
What if you have notifications turned off?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They'll still do it.
They'll still push it out because their goal is to.
I'm closing it right now.
Yeah, is to push you. Is to in this you want to do this right after you post. So right after you hit post.
I should have post first.
Yeah, you hit post and then close out the app, and then let it hang, let it ride for about 15, 20, 30 minutes. And your post is going to get pushed more. Promise, guarantee it. A lot of people post it, and then they're looking at it, and then they're going to their messages, and they might I want to read the comments already and respond. Now, don't get me wrong, like responding to comments is very, very important too. You want to make sure to do that. But initially, right after you post, let that puppy ride for, 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you can make it. A lot of people can't make it. But and then
is it better posts or stories?
Reels are the best.
Reels are the best.
Reels are the best. Posts, it's honestly, if Instagram had their way, they want people to post 4 to 6 times a day. That's like their sweet spot. I've even heard 7, but I mean, it's pretty insane, All
right. So there's that hack.
So then the other one is, not to edit your posts. Cause what happens is right when you post something, what happens is they look at the likes, shares, saves, comments. They look at all those metrics, right? They're judging all those metrics of like, okay, do we push his post to his followers yet? Oh, we need, a little bit more watch time, or we need 2 more comments to do that, or this or that. If you go back and edit your post, like let's say you typed in something wrong and you go back and edit and save it, it wipes it to 0. Now you're at 0, everything. A lot of people don't know that. So they'll go back and edit it 1 or 2 or 3 times. And
they'll kill it.
It'll kill it. They get 10 likes. They're like, what the hell? So like, there's a lot of things, just like little tiny things like that has taken me years to figure out. And that's why I do consulting as well. I do mentoring. I do, I haven't launched a course or anything just because there's a bad stigma with courses right now, but like there's a lot of kind of knowledge. And I think I'm going to start putting out a lot more of these webinars, get people on the webinar. And then obviously, I have services to offer them, and
sure.
And a community is being built and everything like that. So
love it, man.
Yep.
Well, listen, I appreciate you, and I'm sure we'll talk more. You live just right down the road from us, 4-hour drive or whatever.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming over and sharing your wisdom, your ideas. I'm sure we're going to be utilizing your services in some capacity. Yeah. And I'm sure the people that were listening got some value as well.
100%. And I'll chop that video up and put it below. And then I do have a social media handle right now
we'll put all the links. Media. We'll get them from you. Get all the links to all your stuff and make sure it's in the show notes.
Cool.
So appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
So that's my conversation with Zac Gulbranson. I hope you got value from it. I know it's technical. I know it's a lot of stuff, but we all got to be learning. We all got to be growing. We all got to be figuring this thing out. And if we can't figure it out or we don't have time to figure it out, find somebody who knows how to figure it out. So make sure you check out the show notes with all the links and all the different resources to be able to learn more. And until next time, go out there and make your life amazing. Take care. See ya.